vote on it, alongside with responsibility sharing. Although something which needs to be clear on the plan here is that the board members would not be thoroughly responsible for the work ongoing. They will only be here to supervise and just have a look at what's happening, make sure it's in line with the current directions. And of course, if they want to, they can be helping, but they wouldn't have management role per se. We need to get people on board to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I suppose since we haven't had a chance to take a look at this yet, we might as well. I would second that suggestion that we take the weekend to review and we comment or provide feedback by somewhere next week. And I strongly suggest we decide on a time for that, date and time by which to have provided feedback.
So the simple answer is to have a feedback window until Monday. Then on Monday I can create a vote on it, and either after everyone voted or after 1 week it will be automatically closed, and then we will have a decision.
I think that will work. My schedule will be a little bit. I will know my schedule for the coming 3 weeks by Sunday, so I'll still try my best to make time for this. For those of you who have not read the board thread, I will be working on ostrich farm for 3 weeks. Yes, I'll be taking care of big birds for 3 weeks. That will be my vacation. Alessandro?
Sorry, I would comment the fact that apart from, there is a lot of stuff there. I think that also what's important could be a possible timeline, because without a proper timeline, everything seems to be, yes, I'm in charge of this. Somehow I will do it.
But the only problem is that you can't do a timeline and a description of what the work should be in the same place. I wanted to have a graphical thing going, but okay. No time.
No worries about that.
There's a PowerPoint version of the timeline, the preliminary the draft roadmap. Maybe we can use that. I can't open this document.
No, maybe we can do that, but there is a difference between the timeline and the deadline. I think the roadmap provides a deadline. The timeline is much more time-consuming thing to do, so it also makes sense that the specific work are not decided beforehand by the people who would not do it. As the board, we can of course give a deadline, like when we need some stuff to be done, and then the people in charge can decide on their internal timeline.
That's fair. Maybe, or might I suggest that we set in connection with providing our feedback, that we consider soft deadlines. And by soft deadlines, I don't mean that we're generous about the deadlines. By soft deadline, I mean we identify a period of time in which it is viable to submit the project, or in which the actual deadline could be placed. This is usually within a period of 1 to 2 weeks. And and it can make it easier to avoid falling into the trap of setting deadlines too late.
Maybe right before Abs jumps in, I set soft deadline in the document already.
That's great.
It's in a subtitle form. It says we should have all the plans ready for the November council meeting. And then in the February council meeting, we will be able to report on the progress of these plans.
Okay. Thank you, Florian. Mob.
Yes, I was about to say that it is a plan for the rest of this year, so that comes with a built-in deadline. You also have a proposal, so unless there are other proposals, you might want to vote on that proposal, or if anyone wants to change the proposal, so that we move forward, because we're supposed to close the meeting in 6 minutes.
30
Yes.
minutes.
No, sorry, it's 36 minutes. We're plenty of time.
But yeah, we should not delve into the technical discussion here anyway.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's vote on that then. Okay.
And anyway, whatever we do, we can undo. So
Yeah.
if it's too tight this weekend, we can push back a little bit the deadline.
Okay. That's fair. So let's move forward. Allocation of responsibilities is the next point. And we have
So basically,
everyone except Cal has voted. So we're missing Cal. Mom?
I think Florian wanted to say something about responsibilities before I jump in.
no, but it's fine. Carl voted. So just about the allocation of responsibilities, having a look at the tasks suggested in the little document, it's basically taking back what we did in the previous board terms, plus adding what came up in the team building. So I think every short-term thing is here, even between the lines, some long-term things are there as well, because it comes with a structure. But whatever, when you review all of this, you can also declare your interest in being appointed to these sectors. So I think the proposal here for this point will be for everyone this weekend to also declare in what they are interested.
So declare interest in a topic.
Yes, and it will be awesome if you can suggest a small action plan for your task. Yeah,
Yep. Okay. Excellent point. Does Mob want to add anything there? Raise your hand.
No, I'm fine. Florian covered it all.
Okay. Very good then. All right. Thank you, Alessandro, for typing.
Sorry, there might be one other thing. I think declaring interest is a good first step.
Sorry, Petra.
Declaring
Mark,
interest.
go ahead.
Yes, declaring interest can of course be a good first step, but you also need to make a decision on who have what responsibilities, and that can only be done after the document is decided on, because you don't know what responsibilities you have until after then. So you could probably task Florian to submit a vote asynchronously on these scores about assigning responsibilities after the first vote on the proposal, the action plan has been decided.
Fair point. Okay, let's have that. All right. So the proposal is that members of the board declare their interest on specific items and come up with action plans for them. And we do this in a discourse thread. And Florian will be responsible for setting up a vote. Okay, so let's vote on that one. Okay, I think it's just Marek. All right, thank you, everyone. So that 2.1.1 allocation of responsibilities has been voted on and passed. So let's continue with 2.2, email to invite member parties to apply to host the November Council meeting. The proposal here is currently be, so do we have would someone like to give a summary of this proposal since it's being written?
Yes. So we have a council meeting in November. At the previous council meeting, it was a week ago or so. Telling a bit, yeah. Telling a bit more. It was said that ideally a member party could come forward and offer to host it in a physical manner. So this is to remind them of the opportunity to do so, and what would be very good to have is first a knowledge of any event happening in November, but we can ask for that in other ways or in the email, and little list to make sure that they are able to host us and provide us what we need. Basically, just a room, a few seats, and a capacity to broadcast the council meeting for online participants. And the way to incentivize all of that is that we could help in paying for a location and food.
Okay. Mob?
Sorry, old hand.
Okay. Okay. Do we have a budget for?
So I'm a bit unclear on that. I would be maybe pessimistic and say no, because we already used the line we had for the January Luxembourgish council meeting. But yeah, we will need to look into that, and we need 2 persons to be at least 2 persons to have their eyes on the council meeting parliament list.
Okay. So, Mob, then Alessandro.
I think I would be very cautious against offering to pay anything for this, because if you do it once, they will expect it to be done every time. And that means that you can only have physical council meetings when you have money to pay for them, and then only focus only on the content of the meeting.
Alessandro?
Yeah, I would like just to say that regarding the last council meeting in Luxembourg, actually, we paid nothing.
Really?
0.
So we have 2,000 available, but
we have paid in the past.
yeah, it was in France because it was a big accumulation. But
we paid it. I said what I said. We had a budget for the last council meeting, but then our great Luxembourgish parents paid everything, so we paid nothing, €0 for that.
Yep, okay.
So I want just to say that the budget is still there. I mean, we don't have to burn it, but still it's still there. I say on the idea of the map just explained before because it's a cool idea, but eventually the money are there. That's all I want to say.
I don't think we should offer. We have very limited cash flow.
All right. So maybe we should add to that proposal that just that or remove that part completely from the proposal. Is that what you're all suggesting?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Very good.
So I guess if nothing else, we can vote.
Yep. So Florian is tasked to send out an email.
But wait, no votes. Like, who is doing the council meeting requirement list? Someone who was in Luxembourg, for example.
I suppose I can. It's just writing a list, right? I think I
Yeah.
can do that.
Yes, like remember what happened in Luxembourg. I will try to remember very hard what happened in Strasbourg, and then I guess we can do it together.
Yep, absolutely. We just need to just coordinate with time. But I'll DM you.
Okay. Okay, now we can vote.
Hmm? Marek? Okay, and all the votes are in for 2.2. And the proposal passes. Yes. Discussions without decisions. All right. So following up from the team building weekend, okay, we'll look at the other orders of business afterwards. But 3.1 is the 5-year strategic plan. I have tried to summarize as clearly as possible what we discussed over the weekend and provide both a draft roadmap and a written report. I don't know if you had a chance to read that yet, but I was hoping that would work as a starting point or a launch point. I also think we might be able to sync the roadmap with the local parties.
What do you
We
mean
need-
by that?
I mean that we share what ends up being our roadmap, the final draft of the roadmap, with our member parties. They could use that to help them develop their strategy towards the next European election, so that there's an overlap, that we sync our plans essentially.
Okay.
Florian, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to go in the same direction as you, saying that the European election should be our targets. One of the big goals of the European Broad Party is to get public funding.
Mm.
So I guess these two dimensions should be the end goal of the strategic plan, to get closer to these two. And I think the biggest challenge is to be able to set up some campaigning for the elections and make sure the CEP is made with as many inputs and validation from the member parties as possible. And it might seem very ambitious, but I think we can maybe get inspiration from the citizen assemblies processes on how to cover insights and inputs to lead to a set of proposals. I think I will maybe give one example. I will try to find it. Case studies. Up. Because I don't know if you remember all the police tool we used. I noticed that it's part of a big process as a collective decision making from used by different persons.
Yeah.
And I have the example of the Taiwanese who use it in a special way. So I just want to share it for you. So of course that's long term. This has nothing to do with the short term action plan. This is basically the dream goal to be able to make a CEP. But we can also go with the old ways, just making sure that we have more time and give more time and pressure to the members to review it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it could certainly be useful. What matters is that we work consistently and, like you said, have an exchange, a running exchange with, or an ongoing exchange with our all our member parties.
Yep.
Perhaps even involving meetings or people visiting the parties. So members of the board visiting the parties. Mom? Go ahead, Mom.
I think the two things that I would take away from the last attempt at drafting a CEP is that clearly the member parties need more time to react to a finished product than they had, and they will not necessarily react to a half-finished product. The Czech would be a case in point, but also the Catalans who reacted very late. So that would be one thing. The other thing is that there were very few people involved in the process, and that is because we didn't have people already used to talking in the same place. So whether we use Discourse again or something else, I think an aim would be to have 200 active users before we launch the CEP project. Basically, we need to use the platform for other things to such an extent that we have a huge number of active users from a lot of our different member parties that are already there. This time, we got thematic coordinators, and then after that, they were supposed to hunt down people to get them to register on Discourse, which of course people didn't do. We need to have people already on Discourse or whichever platform we use, so that when the CEP project is launched there, they're already actively discussing whatever gets put on there. So whichever tool we use, we need to come up with a part of the plan how to drive traffic there so that it is up and running when the CEP starts. Otherwise, we will not have more people involved than we had this time.
Thank you, Mob. Florian?
Yeah, I just want to reaffirm that pirates love tools. Sometimes they also fall headfirst into this fallacy, but the processes would need a lot of people and to be carried out by volunteers. So the broad idea with that vision is that it's the ideal direction towards, at least I would like to go tool. Now we are laying the groundwork to stabilize the structure. In the long run, we want to have activity. So that could be done in different ways because the delegation needs support, because slowly we attract people and we gather interest in policy work with the working groups, for example. And then this way we could have a starting community to be able to apply such a thing and amplify it. So that's just a part of what we could envision.
All right, thank you, Florian. Perhaps we should, sorry. Perhaps we should look at adding these time frames to the timeline as well. So rather than decide on it now, we include this in our discussion, in our feedback, and then consider what we can do after all that feedback has arrived by Monday. Mob, go ahead.
I think you're mixing two topics. The feedback is for the plan for the rest of this year, what should be done this year, and not for what should be done for the next 5 years. This is the first discussion on what should be done for the next 5 years, but that will then have to go into a discussion with decision at a later point. So you don't need to have anything concrete to be decided on now. You can just write down your thoughts and ideas either in on Discourse or Mattermost or wherever, so that we have a little bit more thinking done before there's a discussion leading to a decision.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Thank you for the clarification, Mob. Much appreciated. All right. Do we have any additional thoughts on the 5-year strategic plan? Okay. So I think it sounds like we need to continue discussing. I mean, we need to continue discussing online. Perhaps we should have a dedicated discourse thread for it within the board. Either way, I'm happy to make any updates to the documents I've already provided. That's really what I have to add. Okay. If you don't have anything else to add, perhaps we should round off this point and move on to. All right. So that was not a proposal. That was a suggestion. So we don't need to vote on that. I think it's important that we move on to point 4. Yes, Florian?
Yeah, just a reminder, we don't need decisions to be opening threads, or we don't need decisions to be doing some work and preparing proposals and some things.
Yeah, that's why I said it was a suggestion. Thank you, Florian. All right. So it sounds like there aren't any more additions to this topic. So I think the discussion is at an end, and it's time to move to the additional orders of business, which is bank access. All right, and we have a report here that Marqueta has bank access. Is that from Alessandro?
It's from me. So basically, your plans are a bit ruined, Florian, also mine actually. I will not meet Marketa next week, next Wednesday in Prague, because she will not be there, unfortunately. And this means that my chances to get direct access to the bank are dramatically. You are there. Marek, tell me the good news.
I don't know if it's good news, but I don't know if Marketa's told you, but Marketa's moving to Brussels actually. For 1 year now, and she'll see how that goes. So, any in-person contact?
Thing is, we should meet in Prague or elsewhere in Czech Republic or elsewhere, even when a few bank office is opened. Unless you have a better idea, and you know maybe Mark better than me, how does it work with this bank? The thing is, she should be there with me in order to get me access to the bank account. So what I will try to do is just to go to, because I will be in Prague anyway next week. So I will go myself into a FIO bank physically and say, talk, hello, I want to open a bank account. A FIO bank account, me myself. So at least I open a bank account, a FIO bank account. Why I will do so? Not interested in to have. Yeah, exactly. No, it definitely already 5 years ago with Nicholas. It wasn't so crazy. In the city center, they were almost maybe not understanding everything, but speaking, yes. But at that time, in 2020, it was no go. They said no. Unfortunately, even if you are, if you're a pass or you're an European citizen, you're not a Czech resident. So we will not open a bank account for you. Let's say, okay, fair enough. It doesn't sound very good, but still. Yeah, I will finish in a second and then I'll let you speak, Florian. So the thing is, the plan is a bit ruined. This means that I also contacted my second point, that is Veronica. Veronica, der Lanceta, Veronica, der Lanceta. And
Go ahead.
I mean, I had no answer for, because Veronica also has still, as my knowledge, access to the bank account. So this means that my C plan was to just try to Marketa and say, okay, Marketa, we need to pay some guys, right? And not bad guys, but still not good, so we have to pay them. In my paying list, in my waiting list, there are Mikuláš, Florian, and Maya, and probably that's it, because Florian, I mean, I got probably, I mean, have you had the chance to get the invoice from the Le Phare du Canard?
Yeah, I got it. I should have forwarded it to you. Like the treasure address. I think I've sent it.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think that was actually sent the same day.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't, but I retrieved it. So I got it. I sent it. It needs to be paid online or good, but yeah, that's something that should be done. But that's basically my question. Is anything going to happen with Marketa? No. In the future, I guess we didn't talk to her about it yet. Is Veronica still available to us or no? And yeah, because we have bills to pay.
Correct, but still the same problem. I mean, we have only one or two people engaged with this bank account, but unfortunately, it's not me.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So the good thing is that you will try to go and talk to them directly.
I will.
Yeah,
I just go there. I mean,
yeah, sure. But then, based on their answer, maybe we will need to dive head first into a switch of a banking account.
I mean, having the money there and can't use it, it's a bit painful, right?
Mm.
We will face the problem of having a transparent bank account, but still,
That's a non-problem.
I know I don't like transparent at all, actually. So,
but because basically with the young parts of Europe, we have found a bank who does formalities at a distance. So
Which bank?
it's the State Bank of Luxembourg. So
Ah. Is it costless or
well,
costful?
it's quite cheap. It's fine. It's like 40 euros, I think, a year.
Not bad.
Yeah, and as for transparency, there is the solution of getting multiple people access to it. Like some people with management access and some others with reading access. You have also the option of publishing the statements, and you have another option. Well, two options really. One option is to ask the bank for a solution, and another option is to do the solution yourself. And as such, the French private party has a solution for a transparent account and is compatible with this bank. So
Okay, cool.
Sounds
Anyway,
good. I'd like, sorry to interrupt. I just want to remind you that we have 5 minutes left of this meeting, so let's please try to round off.
yeah, but basically,
done.
I just wanted to know what the situation is and arouse the idea of moving out of there.
So worst case scenario is that I pay by my pocket if there are bills that has to be paid, and then I will just ask Marquette to repay me. But this is really the worst case scenario.
To the extent of my knowledge, there's only one outstanding bill to be paid, is the Farge Canal one. But I should have sent it on the treasurer email. And then all the others have been paid already, but we need to do the reimbursements. That's all.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, la Farge du Canal, c'est ça?
Oui, oui.
Facture 266 euro. Ladri. Okay. I know that you speak, not all of you, but you can understand Italian easily.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Nice.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Alessandro. Very informative. Excellent suggestions there. So, with that, we don't have any more points and no more other orders of business, which means we can announce the meeting closed at 19:27. 3 minutes ahead of time. And you are muted, Alessandro.
Applause, I said. You should mean mouth reading.
Yeah, another one of those intelligence skills, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, yeah, Florian.
Go ahead,
No,
Florian.
my bad.
I have to prepare dinner.
Okay. Pasta? Pasta.
No, niet pasta. No, don't eat carbs. Carbs drives you to death. Do not eat carbs. Eat proteins and fat.
It's too early for pasta.
It's always too early because you shouldn't eat pasta. Today I will